CASSIUS IFL TV, MTK Global.
PAULIE MALIGNAGGI on IFL TV. Look at me. Look at how good I look right now. Do I not look good right now? I got my Steve Taylor suit, custom made, Savile Row. Oh, look at it. Oh, nice. Nice, eh? Steve Taylor's. That's how we do. Look at it. Keep me looking good. All right, so what do we got?
Right.
What do you need, Kugan? I always got time
Come
for
on,
you.
give me some quotes. What's going to happen tomorrow night?
All right, here's what's going to happen. Joshua is the young guy, right? He's the guy who wants to come forward and, you know, I don't want to mispronounce the word. He wants to put forth his youthful energy. He wants Klitschko to feel uncomfortable right from the go. Okay, Klitschko's an older fighter. I know what it's like to be an older fighter. When you're an older fighter, you have a lot of veteran tricks. You have a lot of trickiness to you, a lot of intelligence, but you use all of that to avoid a firefight. When you're older, you're not really looking for all the big exchanges. You're not really looking for all the big firefights. You know, and Klitschko was never looking for that even in his prime. But he knew how to be sharper. He knew how to you know, execute the big punch if he needed to. Joshua is going to, for me, Joshua's advantage is he's got to come forward and execute the youthful energy, make his presence felt from the start. But for me, it could also be a risk because when you're young, the older guy wants to set those traps for you. Here's where I think Joshua's the advantage. He's got the youthful energy, but he's got enough going for him. Klitschko, once he sees that Joshua's not being baited for those tricks, once he sees that he's not really able to make Joshua slow down, because here's Klitschko's old veteran tricks. We want to slow you down. We don't want the exchange. The old guy doesn't want the exchanges. We want to slow you down. Jab, take a walk, step around, jab, you know, do whatever. You know, hold, like Klitschko likes to hold. Kill time, slow things down, score the points, win the rounds, or maybe walk you into a big punch, maybe knock you out. You know, you're trying to as you're older, you con your way through a fight more than anything. When you're younger, you breathe fire through that fight. You know, you have less tricks, but you have more energy. I think if after a few rounds, if it's still going on, the fight, after a few rounds, if Klitschko hasn't been able to slow Joshua down, Joshua's presence in the ring down, and by Joshua's presence in the ring, I mean like get Joshua thinking or overthinking and slow down just enough to have Klitschko buy his time. If he hasn't done that, I think Klitschko's going to be very uncomfortable and it's going to end in a bad night. If Klitschko though is able to execute that jabbing, you know, being comfortable in there, making Joshua uncomfortable, making Joshua's presence and forward momentum slow down, then Klitschko's going to have him where he wants him and he's going to be able to kind of do what he does and maybe walk him into the big punch. I think the fight ends in a knockout either way. I give Joshua the advantage. I think Joshua probably ends up doing what he needs to do. But if Klitschko ends up doing what he needs to do, I think that's the way he has to do it as well.
Is Klitschko too experienced to be done 1 or 2 rounds, or not necessarily?
No. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I don't think anything has anything to do with it. I think it can end in 1 or 2 rounds. I think the fight can end in 1 or 2 rounds. I think, as a matter of fact, I think Joshua wants to establish his presence from the go. You know, I think Klitschko wants to hold him off from the go, but he doesn't want to fight that kind of fight all night. You know, I think Klitschko may need to put some fire forward early on and kind of let Joshua know, hey, this is a big time, slow down. But I think if he doesn't want that kind of fight all night, if Klitschko tries that kind of fight and it doesn't work, you know, he's going to end up being uncomfortable. He's not going to want, as I said, when you're older and you're a veteran, you don't want to be in the fire all the time. You want to be able to just on the outside of the fire, just enough to kind of play with it, mess with it, but not jump into it. You know, when you're younger, you're totally fine jumping into the fire. So I think Klitschko wants to use the veteran tricks, use the veteran experience, holding, jabbing, you know, dropping a couple shots here and there, jabbing. Anything to avoid the exchange while still winning the rounds, while still having the advantage. Because if you keep the advantage, you're going to frustrate the young guy into maybe making more mistakes. If you make the more mistakes, Klitschko can knock you out. Here's another advantage Klitschko has. I'll give you one example. Klitschko's whole career in his prime, people think, you know, he's not explosive, he's not fun to watch because he jabs you, and he leaves you the option to take the risk of winning the fight. He won't take the risk. Jabs you all night. If you take a risk, he knocks you out. Either with a right hand or a big left hook, he knocks you out. So what happens? Most fighters already feel how heavy the jab is. They don't take the risk. They end up ending on the outside of the jab. They cover up. The fight ends up being boring. They don't do anything. Usually when a fighter has you at his mercy, he goes for the finish. Klitschko doesn't do that. So people criticize him his whole career. This time, though, this is not a prime Klitschko. So this time, if Klitschko has that game plan, people won't criticize him. People will just Klitschko winning is fine because it's a big upset as it is. So Klitschko can actually use the same tactics he's always used in his career. Touch, jab, kill time, don't take a chance, make the other guy take a chance if make him fall behind and then make him take the risks and maybe make him look for the knockout. Joshua is expected to do something. Joshua's the one with the expectancy. So if Joshua falls behind, he's going to probably be more apt, more willing to take more risks, and probably more of Klitschko's old opponents who are just willing to be jabbed to death. That's if Klitschko wins a few rounds and takes the advantage of the fight. My thinking is probably Joshua establishes himself early and dictates it early, and Klitschko doesn't want to be there. My feeling. But if Klitschko wins, that's how he's going to win.
I love how animated you are, Paulie.
Yeah, I don't want to be misunderstood, you know, because the tactics are so in detail sometimes that people misunderstand what I'm trying to say, you know. And I want to make sure everybody's not misunderstanding something, you know. I want to make sure that if you're looking for these tactics from Klitschko, this is what you're looking for. If you're looking from Joshua for these tactics, this is what you're looking for. In my estimation, those are the two things to look for from both sides.
Paulie Malingnagggi, thank you for your time again.
Look, I'll continue to look good with my Savile Row Steve Taylor suit. Thank you very much. See you later.